Hello, everybody. Great to be here. Thank you ever so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. If you're an accountant and you're here, I appreciate it even more because I know how busy accountants are right now. So it's great to have you here. I'm going to respect your time. I'm going to keep it down to about 15 minutes. I nearly said 50 minutes then. I don't know why, but it's definitely not 50 minutes. It's 15 minutes. Occasionally it leans towards 20, but I'll try and make sure that your investment in being here in terms of your time is very well served. So that's what I'll do. So just to clarify, LinkedIn Lives, they're really cool. We're actually live on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and on YouTube. And we're able to do that through something called Streamyard, which is a really nice piece of software that enables me to basically be in three places at the same time. That for me is just fantastic. I go back now 28 years. I started off sending out letters through the post and gathering leads that way. And do you know what? How has the world changed since then? I'm able to do this now with you. If you've got any questions for me, by the way, please feel free to add them to comments, and I'll try and get to them as we progress through. I might leave them to the end, or if it's just a quick one, then I'll try and answer it then and there. So today we're talking about how accountants can win clients on LinkedIn. Now, if you look at what accountants do, it's not a million miles away from what normal businesses, when I say normal, I mean businesses that aren't accountants do. They go on to LinkedIn pretty much. I wouldn't be surprised if every single accountant in the UK was on LinkedIn. I'm sure a few of them aren't, but generally speaking, they will be. But if you look at what they actually do, then I'm also sure that 99.9% of them do one of two things. They either do nothing at all, or they occasionally post something on LinkedIn. By occasionally, I mean maybe once a week, maybe once a month, but certainly no more than a couple of times per week. And so, that for me is a little bit like, I don't know, if you're an accountant and you joined a gym because you wanted to get fitter or lose weight or improve yourself in some way, and your strategy was to go to the gym once every fortnight and just do a few curls, do 10 curls like this, then it's going to take a long time to get anywhere, and really and truthfully, it's probably never going to work. And that's the problem. That's why a lot of accountants don't win business that they could. So that said, let's look at what accountants do generally, shall we? We said what they do on LinkedIn, and I don't think I'm far away there. If we look at how accountants tend to win business, you've got a group of people who will be quite proactive. They'll have Google AdWords set up, and they'll be posting on social media. They'll have an email that goes out, and so on and so forth. And I'd say, I don't know, 10 to 20% of those do that. But if you look generally speaking at the industry as a whole, the main way accountants win business is through word of mouth, through repeat business. And that's one of the things that makes the accountancy industry such a powerful and effective business to be in, because unless the accountant messes up, or the client goes bust, or the client grows to such a level that they need higher level accountancy support, you're going to keep that client for years and years and years and years, and they're going to refer you and recommend you and so on and so forth. However, as we all know, the accountancy industry is changing. The introduction of ChatGPT and other AI tools and technologies and so on, without a doubt changing the industry. But just going back to the basics of it, the main way that accountants win business is through relationships, really. That could be relationships with solicitors, IFAs, other businesses, their clients, and so on and so forth. So that's always been a big part of the accountancy world. And my belief on LinkedIn is this: nothing's changed. Nothing's changed about that. Accountants haven't been going out there and just popping marketing messages occasionally and hoping that, something happens. They've been attending networking events. They've been building relationships with solicitors. They've been taking them out to lunch and to dinner and corporate events and so on and so forth. The only difference with LinkedIn is that's now moved online. And accountants can do it online with people wherever they want to. So my belief about how accountants can win clients on LinkedIn comes down to this. Firstly, you've got to make sure that your profile looks, I think, the biz. If it's similar to most accountants, you're going to get similar results. So you need to put some work into making sure that your profile looks fantastic. I'm talking mainly about your personal profile, but also your company or your practice profile. Once you've sorted that out, the next thing to consider is the number of people that you're connected to that are the right type of people. I was talking to somebody yesterday who said, well, all my LinkedIn contacts were for my past job. He worked in CRM, customer relationship management, and he now does dog training. So you see the problem, these people who he's connected to are not necessarily dog owners. They don't live within his catchment area because they were all over the UK, and in fact, possibly even all over the world. And so, he's got to build up the number of people that he's connected to on LinkedIn who could hire his dog training. So as an accountant, we need to think about that as a key part of going forward. Now, if you're connected to, let's say you were in Portsmouth, okay, and you're connected to 500 business owners, all of which are in the Portsmouth area, but there are over 10,000 businesses in Portsmouth. Can you see the problem? The problem is that 9,500 of them are not connected to you. So your job, I believe, is to connect to those people. That's really key. The next thing, once we've developed our world, our crowd, the number of people that we're connected to, is no point really doing that until and unless we build relationships. This is not about bragging rights. Aren't I popular? I've got 10,000 contacts. Well, you can't stick that in the bank. What really matters ultimately is how many people you've got relationships with, and then even more so, how many of those you've turned into meetings, and even more so, how many of those you've turned into business. That's ultimately what it's all about. And, when I work with businesses, I often say to them, I'm a little bit like an accountant. Working with them on whether that's through LinkedIn or generally in their marketing, because I'm all about the numbers, not necessarily the financial numbers like an accountant would be, but definitely about the marketing numbers and the sales numbers. When I talk to people about LinkedIn, and you might want to think about this if you're an accountant, how many people you're connected to on LinkedIn, how often are you posting to those people, what are your open rates, how many people are looking at your profile this month. This month I hit 896 views of my profile. What's your SSI score? And just if you're not sure what that is, go and type into Google SSI score, social selling index score, and it give you a score, give you a rating as to how well you're doing. It's a really, really useful tool, and I recommend that you take a look at it. So each and every element can be measured. It's great. Okay, I've got all these people, I'm communicating with them, but how many people actually do I book meetings with? Well, I can tell you now. Let me just give you my version. I know I'm not an accountant. I'm a marketing person, although I have worked quite extensively within the accountancy industry. But let me tell you what I do. I win about 100 grand a year on LinkedIn. That's not being big-headed. I know people who win a lot more than that, okay? But that's what I do. I'm a small business. I win about 100 grand a year, which is not bad. However, what we need to think about here is, how do I do that? What is the secret? What do accountants need to do in order to do that? Well, they need to do the same as I do, I believe. So they need to crank up. We need to do what we've already said, connect to more people, start communicating, be at least twice a day, I'm going to say, and I probably up to like 5, 6, 7 times a day, I'm posting on LinkedIn. Just go and check me out on LinkedIn. You'll find me sort of pretty much all over the place. So we need to do more of it. But I can also tell you that that's not where the money is. That's not where the new clients are. The new clients are, because you're getting well known, because you're posting on a regular basis, people are reading your stuff, commenting on your stuff, liking your stuff, your posts. You get well known. And when you get well known, when you pick up the phone and talk to people, they go, "Oh, Steve, yeah, I see you. You're always on LinkedIn, aren't you? You know, it's great to speak to you today." And that's the typical reaction that I get when I talk to somebody on LinkedIn. It's not like, "Well, who are you? Why are you cold calling me?" I'm not cold calling you. I'm calling people that I know, that to some level know, like, and trust me. And that, by the way, is the 3 things that we're all striving for in business, isn't it? Particularly as an accountant. You know, they say that the accountancy industry is the most trusted industry of all the industries. And as an accountant, you got to get people to know you, like you, and trust you. What am I going to do? If I need a new accountant, am I going to go to somebody that I know, like, and trust, or am I going to just Google it? You know, I think you know the answer. So you know, I suppose if I said what is the one thing that you should be doing on LinkedIn to win business as an accountant, it would be speaking to people. You know, and that could be anyway. You could do a LinkedIn live like I'm doing now. I'm speaking to you, even though you're not talking back to me, but you know, I am speaking to you. I could do a webinar. I could do that. I could send people, I could connect to people and then send them a quick video. "Hi, my name's Fred from Fred Blogs Accountancy Company. Thanks for connecting on LinkedIn. It's great to do so." And then you just go into something, you know. And if you'd like to subscribe to my email list to get our latest tax tips, if you'd like to book a meeting just to talk about your business and where you're taking it, if you want to do this or want to do that, you know, you're starting that process of getting people to know, like, and trust me. But the ideal thing would be to pick up the phone and call people. I know somebody the other day who's an accountant. He did exactly that, and he won £18,000 worth of business by following up on somebody that he just connected to on LinkedIn. 18 grand. That's not a bad, you know, phone call, is it? Now, obviously that doesn't happen every day, but you know, it just shows that if you do that, you know, again, it comes back to what I said at the beginning. How do accountants win business? They win business by talking to people, by building relationships. And how do you build relationships? You talk to people. Now, in the old days, and still now, don't get me wrong, you know, we go networking and so on, and that's all still good, and I do that myself. In fact, I'm just about to set up a LinkedIn local event on the Isle of Wight, where I've just recently moved to. But the point being that, you know, if you're going to you know, really start and use this modern technology, then you've got to think about it in what I'd call like an old-fashioned way, in so much that you're going to pick up the phone, you're going to message people, you can even write to them. You know, you can even send them a letter through the post, which is, I think, a little bit different, because these days we don't get many of those. I get the very occasional letter through the post. I get hundreds of emails every day. So it makes you wonder whether that's an opportunity, doesn't it? So anyway, I think we're just about there. We're on 16 minutes, so we're just over the 15 that I promised. So that's not too bad for me because I can go on and on. Okay, so if you'd like to book a meeting, see that thing that's been scrolling along there, you're very welcome to do so. What I'd also like to just tell you about is something that I've just set up called the Steve Mills Results Mastery University. It's really cool. It's an online training program, networking and events program where you can attend my events live, a little bit like this one. And yeah, I'd like to offer you free access to it. You can come along, give it a try for a month, see what you think, give us some feedback. And if you'd like to do that, just go to my website. You'll see at the top a little button called University. Click on that and you can gain access to it. So that's about it. Thank you ever so much for listening. Remember, I am here every single day, Monday to Friday. And the reason I do this is part of my 28-year commitment to try and help as many small businesses as I possibly can. I will also be running a LinkedIn training program specifically for accountants. I've not got the dates yet, but if you want to find out about that, then just drop me a line to steve@steve-mills.com and let me know that you're interested in that. And as soon as I've got the dates, I will publish those. So that's it. Thank you very much for listening, and look forward to speaking to you soon. Thank you.